development environment. So since we are going to use C# language for our development of automation tests. So the development environment, or IDE, integrated development environment, which is most useful and effective for C# is Visual Studio. The different uh, editions of Visual Studios, like Visual Studio Professional, Visual Studio um, Enterprise, and Visual Studio, but these are paid editions of Visual Studio. You can use there's a free version of Visual Studio also, which is called Visual Studio Community. So for development of non-commercial application, you can use this free version also, and it will work for, you can create automation test scripts using Visual Studio Community Edition. So if you go to Google and just type we download Visual Studio Community 2015, it will give you a link from where you can download this free version of Visual Studio Community Edition, and which is more than enough to do your automation test development with Selenium WebDriver. There are other versions also, like Visual Studio Professional, Visual Studio Enterprise, Visual Studio Code. You can get free trial versions of Enterprise and Professional, but after, I think, for 30 days it will expire, and you have to pay for it if you want to continue to use it. All right, so once you have installed Visual Studio, then you can set up a Visual Studio solution or project so that you can start your development. So let's start a new project solution just to show you how it works. So you go just say new project, and under templates, go to Visual Studio C# and choose test and unit test, and you can just call it test project 1. You can create a separate directory for solution, but in here we are just going to use same directory for solution in the project, and you just let's call it Visual Studio Test Project 2. So once the project is created, you will see that there is one um, test class created automatically called unit test.1. So you can rename it whatever you want. So you can call it my test1.cs. So this will be your test class. And here in your test class, you see that on the top there are some import statements using system, using Microsoft.visualstudio.testtools.unit testing, and you'll need some more packages also, or libraries also, which are required to do the automation testing using Selenium WebDriver. So we'll talk about that in a few minutes. And then next is namespace. Basically, this is just a location where that class is located on the folder structure. And then there is a decoration called test class. That means it's this class will include tests, and test method is a decoration which is used, which will have the test methods where we will write the actual test cases of Selenium WebDriver. So this is the basic structure of the test, but we will add actual test cases in the test method, and once we run those those tests, the results will be shown here in Test Explorer window. You see that window. If for some reason that's not showing up, you can go to the test menu and click on Windows and click on Test Explorer, and it will show you the Test Explorer window. So this is basically your test class, which will have the test cases. Now this is this class can be used for your running Microsoft unit testing, but in order to run Selenium WebDriver tests, you will need Selenium WebDriver packages or classes also imported here. So instead, one way is like you can get it from seleniumhq.org and download those software or those classes and import it into this project. But the easiest way is to use NuGet packages, and it will automatically download and those packages and set it up in your project. The way you can do is like click on references and go to manage NuGet packages. So, and here you can search for those Selenium libraries which we want to install. So you'll just type in Selenium, and there you'll see selenium.webdriver and selenium.support. So these are the two packages you will need. So you'll just select those and click on install, and install selenium.webdriver. Similarly, select selenium.support. So you'll need both of these packages. Once you have installed those, they will show up in your under your references folder.